Hi guys, welcome back to this podcast. I just want to say thank you God for another day, and I just pray that this does someone well. So for today's little segment, I guess I didn't really want to, but God encouraged me to just tell you guys my testimony because I think it can help someone. And little fun fact, I was uncomfortable about telling my testimony for a while because it was really personal and I didn't want everybody to be all up in my business, but I trust God and I know that with Him everything will be okay and that I don't have to worry about people looking at me weird or being like, oh, you went deep, or that I told a little bit too much. So my testimony. Where do we start? I think that God has been with me my whole life, so I'm gonna start all the way at the beginning. Throughout my childhood, I think I had a really great childhood because I was blessed with a really, really great family, and my mom, I love my queen. So throughout my childhood, I think I was pretty happy. Well, I didn't really know what true happiness was, but I was kind of living large. And I would always be outside, and I would always be, playing with my friends and everything. So I grew up in the church, and they taught us, Bible scriptures and everything like that, but they didn't really teach us how to apply them or how to love God. They really just taught us the principles of it, And so I kind of just would learn a lot about Jesus and put it off for later because I'm like, I know about this, I just don't need it because nobody else needs it. From what I saw, nobody else needed it, and so I didn't need it. Because I didn't think that I needed it, I wasn't able to apply what I learned in my life. So when it came to me dealing with people physically taking advantage of me as a kid, I didn't know how to cope with it. And so in my head, I'm like, what, it happened, I don't really know what to do with it, so I'm gonna put it off, And so getting physically taken advantage of kind of left me confused about my body, I guess, or it made me feel like my body was degraded in a way. And so as a young kid, I really didn't know how to love myself a lot, but also I was very young, and so I didn't really need to focus on loving myself. And so I was still kind of the same kid after. I was just outside playing around a lot playing with my friends, not really worrying about anything. And then time started to pass and things, I started to grow up and everything. And that's when all of the the boy crushes and everything come around. And I remember being in middle school and a lot of my friends had crushes on guys, and I was just I didn't understand what's so beautiful about this guy, or what's so amazing about this little boy that you have a crush on. And I didn't know why, but I think it's because what I had experience with boys, and so I was it just didn't really attract me at the time. Boys were just not on my mind. And so and I think around that age, people would it was middle school, and everybody was just dirty little kids, me included, little dirty kid. And so everybody's I got this boy and we be kissing and I'm like, what? Y'all do what? And so I got curious about it. I'm like, well, which led to me, watching things that I wasn't supposed to be watching at that age. When I was watching it, I'm like, whoa, this maybe is what love is, because I don't know what love is, I heard of it, but I have not experienced it in any other way besides, my family loving me. Any other form of love, I just didn't know what it was. So I was kind of curious, and I'm like, what is love? And I heard people say that, oh yeah, sex is love, or this is love, and that is love, and I'm just all of these can't be true. And so at middle school age, I'm I don't know what this is, but I was still at that age in which I didn't really need to focus on it, I guess. And at that age, my schedule was also really busy, so I was going from like school to practice to home doing homework, and so I really had no time to really focus on love, although I probably should have been more focused on it, I guess. This is kind of a booty one, but I'm gonna keep going. Okay, so after my middle school years, nothing really big happened during that. I was just, at church and at school and with my friends, And so, yeah, life was kind of the same until I went to high school. And I remember I moved out of my childhood house and I moved into my house that I'm at now, which I love, and my peeps and everything. We still here, and I still love my queens. And so we moved here, and my first year was kind of like, not even my first year, I think my first few months was like normal, because I'm like, I was still transitioning from middle school and high school, and I think it was during the summertime, so I didn't really have much to worry about. And then 9th grade year came, and I went to a different school, but that was also when COVID happened, and so like everything shut down and I went online. And so I'm at a new school, and I'm still playing volleyball at my old school because the new one that I went to didn't have sports, and so at the time I was able to still, play sports at my old school, but yet go to a different school. So yeah. And at that time, I was learning about Jesus, but we stopped going to my old church, and so he wasn't really on my mind a lot. So yeah. The schedule was it was different now because COVID, but it was more the same. Going to school, going to practice, coming back, just chilling. And I did that all my 9th grade year. So in the summer of my 9th and 10th grade year, I started to really read the Bible more, and I started to learn about Jesus more. And I think it was because I started to look at these TikToks, and randomly like Bible TikToks would come on my stuff. So I'm like, wow, maybe I should kind of dabble into this. And I thank God for them TikToks, which really, I thank God for himself first off, because he really saved me. But like, watching the TikToks kind of encouraged me to dive deeper into it, but I still was very new at it, because although I grew up in the church, I didn't know how to apply any of it. And so I had all this acquired knowledge, but I didn't apply any of that knowledge. So yeah, the summer in between my 9th year ending and my 10th year beginning, yes, that summer, I was playing volleyball one day, and I went in the office. I got pulled in the office, and they're like, yeah, the rules changed, so you can't play this anymore. And I'm sitting there like, what? Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I can't play this sport that I love anymore. Like, I'm in 10th grade. I've been playing since I was in 7th. I've been put so much hard work and effort into the sport. Like, I remember before I even got on the team, I would be in my basement every day practicing, because I didn't go to any of like the summer camps or anything to like learn how to play it. And so I was just in my basement learning by myself, and I was so excited to be on the team. And when I was on it, like, I loved the sport down to my core. Like, I thought that I was gonna be the next one up, but nope, because the rug got pulled under my feet. And so here I am. I don't even know how old I was. I would say like around 13, being told that the one thing that woke me up every morning was no longer going to be available to me. And that left me kind of confused. And I was praying to God, like, please God, like, all I want to do is this sport. I don't want to even get to know you that much, like, I know you enough. Like, I just want to play that sport. And they were not answered, but he didn't give me what I wanted, which was to play the sport again and again. But he gave me what I needed, because I idolized that sport, and I valued that sport way more than God. I loved that sport so much that I would drop anything for it. At the time, who I was a volleyball player. I was nothing else. I wasn't a child of God. I wasn't this. I wasn't that. I was a little bit of an artist, but I only painted because I wanted to go to the school that I'm at now. and I thought that I was good at it because everybody else thought I was good at painting. So I'm like, they all think I'm an OG at painting. I might as well continue to do it. I wasn't able to play volleyball anymore, and my schedule looked completely different now because the only time that I was able to get out the house was to play volleyball. So now my schedule was like go to school online and stay home, which meant that I had to, had a lot of time to think and a lot of time to be by myself, which was kind of hard because growing up, I always only wanted to be with my friends because I didn't really value myself and I didn't really like myself too much. As time went by, I guess, I lost contact with my friends. I lost contact with the old people from my church, my old friends from my church. I lost contact with, the friends that I made with playing volleyball with. And I'm like, dang, I'm in this new house and I have no one. And my family was at work a lot, so it was really just me and my niece, which I barely remember it was there because it was like a long time ago. So she was around here somewhere. Queen, I love her. I'm in this house. I have all this time. I have no friends. My family is at work because somebody got to pay the bills. What do I do? And for a long time, I remember like thinking about how all my friends were gone and how I was left alone, and I didn't know how to be by myself because I was always with somebody else. And so this kind of led me to really focus on social media because that felt like the only human presence I had in my life. And so I'll always be on it. I would be on it for like hours would pass by and I'm like, dang, did I just spend all day scrolling? Yeah, I did, because of how bad and how low I viewed myself. It caused me to compare myself to other people, and I'm like, dang, like her life is amazing. She got all these friends, she got everything she wanted, and like, why don't I have any of that? Like I lost all my friends. Like it's something about me because I'm on social media and I'm seeing that everybody else has what I want, so it has to be something about me. And so I started looking at myself and I'm like, dang, like this girl, I'm in the house, so I got kind of chunky. I got kind of, little large. And so I was like looking at myself, I'm like, dang, like she's skinny, she's pretty, I gotta be like her. And so I kind of, for like a while, I like went on this diet, and air quotes. And I'm like, I have to start eating better. I have to start looking better, because if I look better and I'm skinnier, people will want to be my friend. And through it all, I was also like doing like reading one verse of the day, and I was, talking to God. I'm like, God, if I was skinny and I was pretty, I will have more friends, so I'm gonna do that. And I'm trying to, at the same time, trying to learn just a little bit more about Jesus and everything. So yeah, like a year and a half went by and I'm still in the house and I'm still confused about all of my friends that have gone. And I kid you not, like I will be meditating on everybody that left like every day for over a year. And I was still on that little diet, but the diet, at first it started off as, like a little diet. I wanted to change myself so much that I began to like starve myself for hours and hours so that I can be skinnier quicker and prettier quicker. And like it started off as, like a regular thing, but then it became a mental thing because I mentally couldn't imagine myself eating like normal foods that I used to have, like pizza or McDonald's. I couldn't physically allow myself to eat that. Like I felt guilty if I ate anything more than like a freaking granola bar in the morning. I had an eating disorder. Like that's the truth. I had an eating disorder, and I was also very depressed because of it. Not because of it, like it added on to my depression, but I was still dealing with freaking things from the past. Like all my friends are gone, my life is different, I don't understand what's happening, I can't even go outside, I'm stuck in this house and I feel like I'm by myself. Like I don't have anyone to talk to. Little did I know God was always there, like literally. I remember me sitting in like a corner of my room because I didn't have a bed at the time because we had just moved in. Well, by that time it was like a year, but it was a lot going on. So yeah, I was, in the corner of my room, and I would be in that same corner all day, and I wouldn't eat anything. I would just sit in that corner and do nothing and watch videos and watch TikToks and do this, and I would just sit there wallowing in self-pity for hours and days, like at a time. Mentally, I was just so messed up. Like, you can see it. Like, if I had a picture of me from back then, which I do, it's a clear difference between who I was then and who I am now. All that happened until one day I was sitting in my room, and I had a bed at that time, and I was still very depressed, and I was still very much deep into my eating disorder. And I was on TikTok one day, and this little video popped up, and it talked about how like what an eating disorder is. And I was sitting there and I'm like, I don't have this. And then God was like, the first time I heard God's voice, he was like, you have this. And I'm like, huh? And he's like, you're not mentally healthy. And I'm like, who are you, and who are you? Like, why are you in my business? Like, because I heard his voice before, but I never heard it so like loud. And he's like, you have this. And I'm like, well, God, I don't know how to help myself. I don't know how to pull myself out of this. And he's like, you don't got to. If you've been trying to help yourself, you've been trying to heal yourself, but you can't because you're not strong enough. You gotta allow me to heal you. You gotta stop being so eager to be in control of everything, and you gotta give me control. And so when he said that, I remember just crying a lot, and I was like, God, like, I've been trying to love myself. Like, I knew throughout my depression, I knew that I needed help, but I didn't know how to ask for or how to get it. And so I would do like little things. Like, I remember this girl on YouTube, she was like, I went a week without looking at myself in the mirror. And I remember throughout my eating disorder, every day I would look at myself. Every time I passed the mirror, I would look at, like, am I getting skinnier? Am I getting fatter? Like, So yeah, I would look at myself. And so I tried to like stop doing that, and it didn't work. And he's like, stop trying to be in control. Just give me the control. So I did it. I gave him the control, and honestly, I wish I could tell y'all that I was happy right away, but I wasn't. It took some time. I remember, I think at this time, it was in 10th grade, the second part of 10th grade year, because the first part was online, but the second part was hybrid. And so I think hybrid online is the same thing. I don't know. But the second part is like, I will go to school like 2 days out of the week, and then another set of kids will go to school the other 2 days. And so I started to be around kids my age again, but because of how long I was at home talking to no one, it felt like I physically couldn't form human connections. And I remember I prayed to God, like, I'm like, God, because I started to really get to know him around that time, and I'm like, God, like, I don't know how to talk to people. I don't know. Like, I remember when I used to be with my old friends, and I used to be able to laugh, and the connections felt so deep and so real. And now I'm with these new people, and I just don't know how to connect with them. And so, like, I had to just keep trying every day. And my eating disorder, it was still there, but I was allowing myself to have a little bit more freedom. Time was passing, and I think I got through the first year, or the first half of the last half of my 10th grade year was done. And I remember like the last half, on the last day of my 10th grade year, I played volleyball outside with my friend that I still have today, and I literally love her. And that was like one of the first times that I think I went home and I'm like, God, I made a friend, like, we played outside together, and I felt like such a little kid. But because of how lonely I was throughout my depression, like, any form of human connection was like amazing. And so yeah, I'm kind of tearing up because I literally like love my friends that I have right now, and I thank God for them. So yeah, 11th grade year, I think over the summertime, it's when I had like my first actual boyfriend. I was still working on loving my body, especially, which meant that I just let anybody do anything that they wanted, which was kind of stupid of me. I had the relationship, and you know, I was very young, immature, and I didn't know much about relationships. And I remember like being like, hey God, I got this crush, and I was like, God, you know, I like this man a lot. And he's like, okay, and it was like my first, so I didn't know what to do a lot when it comes to relationships. Yeah, a lot happened, and time passed on, and I think we're gonna fast forward to like the other half of my 11th grade year. I know around this time I started to like post TikToks and everything like that. I wanted to spread the gospel because around that time I started to feel more and more happy, and I still struggled a lot with making human connections with people or making deep connections with them because I was still learning how to. And I think I found it easier to make romantic connections than friendly connections because I was scarred by friendly connections, but I had never had a boyfriend, so it was a lot easier to kind of trust that connection more than the other one. And so yeah, it was cool, and I'm like, you know, I might not have these strong friendly connections, but I got this romantic connection, and then that connection failed, and I'm like, oh, what did I do? I trusted God because I was like, dang, like this really didn't work out. What's plan B? What is plan B? And so I think around this time I had my job and I was working. I was like, dang, this romantic connection failed, but now maybe I need to make a friend. And so I think I was at Chick-fil-A, and I'm like trying to make little friends, and I did make a friend, but still I kid you not, like I'm telling y'all, I was no longer depressed. Like when he said, literally, hand it over, give me your burdens, I kid you not, he pulled me out of my depression. Like I felt like I could never be happy again, and I felt like happiness was coming back into my life, and it wasn't coming in it like a flood. It was coming in like subtly, and like each and every day I felt more happy. And yeah, now I don't know if I want to fast forward to all the way till now. I want to go to my 11th grade year because that was like it was an amazing year. Okay, my 11th grade year, which was last year, I made a really amazing group of friends, and it was one of the first years where I just felt so happy, and I was reading my Bible twice a day. I was getting to know God a lot. I wasn't just getting to know who he was like to other people, I was getting to know who he was for me. And me and God's relationship got so deep, and I just began to experience his love, and it was just so amazing. Like I don't even know how else to explain it. Like God, he really took me out of my depression and then filled my life with joy. And around this time I had no eating disorder and no depression. Like two of the things that I thought I would never be able to overcome, I overcame because of him. Ain't that something? So yeah, my 11th grade year, I joined theater at my school because I used to be like a art major, and I didn't really love art. I think I only did it because everybody else did it, and it wasn't for me. And so my 11th grade year, I wanted to do theater because I started to dabble into like film and stuff, and I'm like, dang, I like films, like I want to learn more about it. And so theater, it was just so fun. Like I was able to, because of how like everything that happened with my old friends and stuff, I was kind of scared to show people who I was, and I was kind of nervous about being myself. So I still thought that it was something wrong about me that made my old friends leave. So yeah, theater allowed me to really step out of that fear. And not just theater, like I think God was like, this is the place where you need to be. And so yeah, I was able to really step out of the fear of Trinity, like something is wrong about you that caused those people to leave. And in theater, I was able to just be myself and connect with people and do stupid things and not feel embarrassed by it. I was in a different relationship. It didn't work out either, so YOLO. Yeah, I was able to really be myself last year, and it felt so amazing. And I met really amazing people, and I was able to like grow deeper connections with them. And right now, fast forward to 10th grade year, they're still my friends, and I literally look forward to seeing them every day. And I thank God for them each and every day, because I prayed for friends like them, and I got what I prayed for. And most importantly, I thank God, because without God, I'd still be some little traumatized girl who thought that she wasn't worth anything, who thought that she could never be loved by anyone besides her family, who thought that she was really ugly and really fat. like I thought so many like negative things about myself, and it kind of makes me tear up, because it's like, what the heck. But I thank God, because getting to know God was the best thing that I've ever done. If I never got to know God, I don't know where I would be, but it definitely would not be right here. And God has literally transformed my life completely. I don't look the same, I don't talk the same, I don't even walk the same. Like, he really took my little broken heart and put it back together. And I will always give him honor, and I will always give him glory, because who else, who you know do that? Who you know heal somebody and make them not depressed no more? Like, there is no one else that can do that for you besides God. And when I tell you, like, God is literally my best friend. Like, I prayed for an amazing friend, and I thought that I needed a good, close friend in human form, and I didn't. What I needed was my best friend in Christ. I prayed, I was like, God, I just want a friend. Like, I just want somebody to talk to. I just want somebody to listen to me. And he was always the one who did that. And so, I have amazing friends, but my number one friend will always be God. And it will always be Jesus Christ. Like, all of them, they will always be my number one friend, and they will always be my number one road dog, my number one supporter. Like, they love me so much, and he continues to bless me every day, and my love continues to grow for him every day, because he pulled me out of so many things. And if you are watching this and you're like me, or you are like the old me, I'm telling you, if you give your life to Christ, it's going to be hard. And I'm telling you this, like, it's not going to be easy trusting people again. It ain't easy, it's not a walk in the park. But when I tell you, nothing else is more worth it. Nothing else. No one can ever satisfy you like God can. Nothing can ever satisfy you like God can. And I know this from experience. So, you're not just getting some experience. You're not just getting some unexperienced little teacher. Like, I know this from personal experience. God, he's just you're just so amazing. Like, ain't no way. So yeah, if you are watching this and you are like little old me, I just encourage you to get to know God, to get to know him, not just who he is or what he does for other people, but what he can do for you. So I'm telling you, when you have a personal encounter, and when you have a personal experience with God, can't nothing top it. And can't nobody make you not believe in him, because you know personally what he done. So yeah, this is my testimony, and I thank God every day. And I thank you guys for listening, and bye. See y'all in the next one. I don't know when it will be or when this is coming out, but deuces.